Hey everyone. So in this video we are going to configure a single SSID BYOD onboarding. The way this works is that when a client connects and authenticates to the network in a WPA2 Enterprise SSID, we're going to differentiate clients who authenticate with EAP-TLS CHAP versus clients that authenticate with EAP-TLS. And with the EAP-TLS CHAP users, redirect them to a page to provision their device with a certificate. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our ICE server and we're going to set up the BYOD portal. So we're going to go to Administration and then Device Portal Management and BYOD. And as you can see here, there's a pre-built one called the BYOD portal. In theory, we can just use this pre-built portal. So from here, let's go in now to Policy and then Policy Results. And if you needed to modify anything in that portal, any information, you could do so under the portal management. In this case, we're not going to modify anything because I don't have any extra information to add. So we're going to go to Results, Authorization, and Authorization Profiles. And we're going to create a new authorization profile that we can use to redirect a client. So let's click Add. Let's call this Single SSID BYOD Redirect. And then we're going to go down to Web Redirection, and instead of centralized web auth, we're going to choose native supplicant provisioning. And then this doesn't really matter, it does from the ICE standpoint, but we use the walled garden for this for the ACL portion. And then for value, we're going to choose the BYOD portal. We're also going to set a static IP address just because I don't want to double check my DNS. So this is going to be the response will be, instead of being a DNS name, it will just be an IP address for the URL. And then from here, let's click Submit. Now let's go over to Dashboard. So as you can see here, I have the BYOD onboarding SSID disabled. We're just going to use this ICE secure SSID to actually authenticate clients and get them and then redirect them to the page. So let's go back to ICE. Let's go to Policy and Policy Sets and Wireless. And then under here, we still have our BYOD redirect rule if we had the BYOD onboarding SSID. We're going to leave that alone. But let's take this BYOD ICE secure and let's duplicate it below. And let's just call this BYOD ICE secure onboard. And then let's remove this registered devices because the device is not registered yet. And then we need to modify a few things. So first off, we want to make sure that the network access EAP authentication, instead of EAP-TLS, is going to be EAP-TLS CHAP. We're also going to make sure that we remove this certificate line. We're going to change this. So let's go ahead and make sure that only devices, the only devices that can, or users that can enroll themselves are domain users. So let's go to External Groups. So real quick, let me go back. We're going to go to my domain information here, or subsection, and then external groups, and then equals, and we're going to choose domain users. So now what we're saying is, as long as that we are a domain user, we are authenticating with EAP-TLS CHAP, and we're coming from the ICE secure SSID, then we need to do something. So let's go ahead and redirect that client by choosing the single SSID redirect I created earlier, and this one right here. Now, let's click Save. This might be a browser issue. Let's see what's going on here. Had this issue the other day. Oh, I need to select an item. I might do it. So we're saying if any client connects. So if just in case you missed that, I had an empty field that hadn't been populated. We needed it to be if any device connects to this or matches this rule, not a registered device. So. All right, now that we have that figured out, we're literally ready to test. So let's go ahead and go to our iPad here. And let's see, let's go to Settings. Let's go to Wi-Fi. Let's choose ICE Secure. Let's try that one more time. This is kind of weird. Let me turn off the wireless here. Why does this say it's connected? Try again. This iPad's been acting very strange lately. Okay, now we are prompted with a username and password, so we're going to put in our Active Directory credential. So we're going to use user1, and then password we're going to use is our super secret password. and click Join. Now we're going to go ahead and click Trust. And okay, it is authenticating and it's connected. Okay, so let's review real quick what's going on in ICE. So let's click on the live logs. Okay, so we can see here I just connected, authenticated, and I just got this session started. So let's look at the authentication information real quick. So one thing we can see right now is that we're logging in as user 1, and the big thing is we're logging in using PeepBeep Chat version 2. And if we look at the response information, we should have responded with a URL redirect. Now I'm going to take my client and I'm going to go to my browser. Let's refresh. We should just get prompted to go through the onboarding. Cool. So from here, we can click Start. Let's put in a device name. We're going to call this device iPad, just because I'm lazy. And then we're going to launch the Apple Profile and Certificate Installer. So what's going to pop up here is we're going to install our root certificate authority. Uh-oh, I think I accidentally clicked Cancel. We'll find out here in a second. Yep. Fantastic. Let's cancel this. Let's try this again. Sometimes you have to be careful that you don't tap away from the initial certificate provisioning portion on an Apple device, or it will drop out and then move to the next phase even though you didn't finish the first one. I'm going to try to be safe here. So let's install. Yep. Yep. Okay, so now that profile's installed, we're going to pop up and we're going to install the next section, which is our device enrollment. While we're doing this, let's go ahead and refresh this page. You can see we're generating the key right now. This is generating our certificate for the client, enrolling and installing the profile. So now you can see that our information here, we just installed an SSID, a certificate for the device, a root certificate chain, and then some signing certificates because ICE is actually signing the certificate. So let's click Done here. Now, it does say Enable to Complete, which is weird, so that's not true. We can go back into Settings. Let's look at our wireless. So right now it says ICE Secure. Now I want to see, we might have to give it a second and reconnect to the SSID. So as you can see right now, we're still authorized as the single SSID BYOD redirect. We want to get BYOD access, so let's go ahead and disconnect from the SSID. Let's set this refresh to every 3 seconds. So let's reconnect. We should connect immediately. All right, so we just authenticated. And as you can see over here, now we authenticate as BYOD access. So let's just look at this real quick and make sure everything looks right. So as you can see, we just matched the BYOD ICE secure authorization policy. We got the BYOD access authorization result, which we configured in the previous video of the dual SSID onboarding. And then we also can see that our device is registered and that, for instance, we're authenticating with EAP-TLS, all sorts of great data. And we can also see like what the ICE server responded with, which was the filter ID of BYOD access, which responds or correlates to the group policy that our client has assigned. So if we go to network-wide and clients, and we look at my iPad, we should see that I have the .1x policy of BYOD access, and I'm on the network. So luckily, since we've set everything up in the previous video, this one was fairly easy to configure. Took just a couple extra rules and a little change to some of the policies, but anyway, what this does provide, though, is the ability to quickly onboard a device securely without having any web pages. So in environments where maybe having an open SSID and a web page are not acceptable, this would be a great way to onboard devices securely. Anyway, I hope this was informative for you, and I thank you for viewing.